What's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Impel Forward Podcast. I'm your host, Leon. That's my co-host, Renee. That's my man, KP. I call him Mr. Pierre.
That's it.
Now, as y'all can see, I don't have my mic. My light might look a little crazy. Yo, I'm going through something right now. Y'all
Are you transitioning?
Yeah, transition. Okay. Y'all see, I'm not that type of transition, but
I know there's transitioning means many different things. You could be transitioning.
I know that. I'm just clarifying with the audience.
You know what I'm saying? I think they can tell you're not,
Yeah. Y'all seen the episode of Martin when he say, I'm going through something right now.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going through something.
Where your mic at, man?
Yo, I just said I'm going through something right now, man. I'm going through something right now. But look, check this out. We got these topics here. Bill Gates wants to inject Africa. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the BET Awards being canceled. And a couple of other things. We got property theft. Renee's, I'm pretty sure you can talk to us about that property theft when we get to it. You know, it's your expertise, I guess, somewhere around that area. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about this Bill Gates, man. Bill Gates with this contraceptive birth control for Kenya. I think it's Kenya. I'm gonna pull up.
It is
Kenya. Now, this is the same. Now, I know that y'all was down with the COVID vaccine. I know. So we ain't talking about that. But this is the same
here
man.
We go. You see how you slide it in, KP?
I'm watching. I'm waiting for him to land. Go ahead.
This is the same man who was pushing the COVID vaccine. Now he has his own contraceptive birth control for Africa. KP, I'm gonna start with you. I don't trust. Look, what's your opinion?
Yeah, I listen. I don't trust it. Anytime Anglo show up at your doorstep and say, "Hey, we're here to help," I'm very weary of that because you have to think. Why do a rich white American want to go to the continent of Africa and help those people? Why does he want to do that? Why does he and Melinda want to do these things? It's been alarming to me when they delve into the treatment of AIDS or things like that. We don't know. I would willing to bet that the agenda is to sterilize these women. That's why I don't trust them. And it's a sad reality that we'll learn 75 years from now that indeed, and in fact, they were sterilizing them because at the rate in which the continent was producing new children at a high birth rate. And so they know that particular population was poised to be, which they are, the most, have the most humans on the continent. So I don't know, man. I don't trust them. They up to something. Bill don't mean no good. Clinton or Gates. Because remember, Bill Clinton, and they had their thing too.
Come on, man. Hey, we celebrated Bill Clinton as the first black president.
Yeah. We were hoodwinked and we were bamboozled.
Who did that?
A white man was able to play a saxophone on a Arsenio Hall show.
Who said that? Oh, okay.
I know a lot of people.
We set our bar so low.
I have a question on this. Why are they? I mean, I understand there's a lot of people in women, in particular in Kenya. However, why are they not starting in China, where the population is super oversaturated with people, and they don't even want their women to produce more kids because it's overcrowded.
They limit them. Right, it's overcrowded. Mm-hmm. Right.
So,
well, you're right. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So that would be my next question. Also, for them to say they want to, I'm going to, devil's advocate here, right? What ties do they have with the Kenyan government?
I don't know, but they've been in Africa for a long time.
Yeah, he has. But I'm just saying, like, they're doing it as this is a praise. This is a great thing. So that means there's some ties there. Could it be some money funneling? Of course, always, right? But there's something their government is saying this is okay.
Mm-hmm. They're saying it's okay because I guess they don't, I don't know if they have, I think these billionaires, all of them, think in diabolical ways. And Mark Zuckerberg thinks in a diabolical way that is different from Peter Thiel. But nevertheless, it's diabolical. That's all they think about. Elon Musk, they think about these diabolical things. And so they do these things. And so I don't see Bill Gates as a good person, although I don't know him. But one would lead to believe, like, why are they in King? Why is he so entrenched in Africa?
Yeah, but also scroll back to that, right? Because I'm an advocate for birth control and contraceptives. Woman's body, do what you want. Why? I guess also because here in America we have IUDs, we have the patch, we have all of those things. It looks like based on what they're looking at is extending. So they're not getting rid of, they're just providing new affordable long-term contraceptive, right? So everything that's offered in the US, it looks like a longer term. So if you look at IUDs, right? IUDs normally you have to replace them, 5 to 10 years. So they're saying, okay, instead of the 5-year mark, we're gonna find something where it's the 8-year mark. And then I guess something for the patch. It doesn't look like, and again, I'm just saying, they're making it more affordable for people who may or may not want kids at the moment, or for younger kids. I just feel like something's going on over there, and maybe because I'm not in the know, that why this is receiving, I guess more praise than, negative.
I don't. Yeah, it shouldn't be received praise. Listen, these people have a documented history of doing nefarious things to our community.
Yeah.
Margaret Sanger showed up into our community with these Planned Parenthood places, right? We're going to help you guys, right? We're going to help you with your fraternity. What is it called?
Fertility.
Fertility. We're going to help you guys with your fertility. Come to find out, Margaret Sanger believed in you. They were practicing eugenics, and there was more sterilizing and punishing the Black woman for populating. And we find this out years later, right?
Yeah.
So when we see the hallmarkings of this same thing, even here in the States, here in America, a lot of Black women in the 20s, 30s, and 40s will go to the hospital for one thing and leave with a hysterectomy.
Right.
And we know this has been a practice. And we know that no one is complying. No one is showing up in compliance for these Black bodies here in America in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and stuff. Even as far as Fannie Lou Hamer, who's famously said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. She was from part of the Mississippi delegation. And she went for hospital services and ended up with a hysterectomy.
Right.
Unbeknownst to her. And so it has happened time and time again. We also know about the Tuskegee study.
Right.
Which was where they purposely did not treat people with syphilis just to see how they were going to react by not treating them. But we tell them that we're treating them. We didn't learn this until this Black nurse blew the cover 75 years later.
Yeah.
So
I definitely get that. But also, looking on the outside as far as like women, there's some women there that may not want to have any more kids anymore, right?
Hey,
or they're,
cover it up.
Get out of here.
Yeah, cover it up.
Don't do that. Don't do that, Katie.
Oh, okay.
So allow the women the right to choose this contraceptive, right? Which we, as a woman in America, we have the right to choose contraceptive or not, right? We can.
Yeah, but our contraceptive that you get to choose has a compliance agency that regulates to make sure that it does not do anything else. So over there, there are no compliance agencies that are thoroughly in place that when they give them the IUD, that it also releases something that actually sterilizes them at the same time. So they think they're not getting pregnant because they have an IUD, when really and truly on the back end of that IUD that's been inserted was some chemical released to go into some area and it sterilized them.
It's supposed to it could be. We got to throw allegedly out there because we don't know, right?
Let me ask y'all this.
No,
let me ask y'all this. Do y'all think with him spending all this money for that, do you think it will be optional?
Yes. It has to be optional. They can't. I mean, well, I don't know the government. I don't know the government. I don't know. Right. I can't speak on, maybe they don't want any more. Maybe it's oversaturated, similar to China, right? China, they don't like girls. You have a girl in China, you move on. They want all boys. So I don't know how their government is ran based on the article. It's allowing women to make the choice. To make the choice if they want to pursue this, contraceptive and making it more affordable. It is it's free now in the U.S. because of different laws passed, so it's covered under our insurance. But listen,
I just think and Leon, I want you to go read that part of it, why Africa is the focus. But like I said, I don't know why. I just know that they're diabolical in their movement. And when you got money the way they have it, we don't know what type of experiment that he's running on these people for uses that could be used here in America. You just simply don't know that. And women have always been the catalyst Black women have been the catalyst that everybody seems to use to learn more about science and learn more about medicine. And so when you think about Henrietta Lacks, how she have the HeLa cells, and she went in there for one thing, and they found out that her cells rejuvenated themselves where no other cells could, and they ended up keeping her. And now you have all these bio businesses that popped up all over the world because they were able to ship this woman's genes out. And they were extracting her genes because they can reproduce themselves. And she was the only one that could do it. That's why they call it the HeLa cell, which is responsible for a lot of medical advances to this day.
But back to your point, when you say like it's regulated in the U.S., is it regulated? Because remember, you hear the commercials about the cervical mesh that, doctors were, offering to women and, to prevent. And then you had remember the copper IUD. Well, you guys probably don't know about.
No, we wouldn't know that, but we'll take your word.
There was a copper, and there still is, but it's evolved. But there was a copper IUD, which is another contraceptive that was supposed to, it's a 10-year contraceptive. And there was some issues with that. There was also issues with the patch, right? Another contraceptive that's offered to women where it stopped at a certain weight limit. Like if you were over like 230 pounds, it didn't necessarily work for you. Then you have the shot, the depot shot. It's like, do you want that injected in you? Because it also, you gain a lot of weight and there's a lot of hormones tied to it. And then, there's the pill who kind of does the same thing. And it's just a lot
Renee, you only know that because of the regulatory agencies that take the data from what was happening as side effects of said medicines that you're talking about. We don't know if that's in place,
right?
On the continent of Africa,
the regulatory agencies, because they're the ones who approved it, or is it somebody else?
They do approve it, but they do approve it, but I think they also police it too. I'm not aware. I just know that.
I mean, it took them how long for Johnson & Johnson?
I don't know. I just know that black women's bodies are always used for the advancement of medicine and to study something. We done seen this. I done ran through a whole thing of just what was black people, even as far as J. Mary Sims, who they call the father of gynecology, right? J. Mary Sims was a doctor who was doing procedures on the enslaved women without anesthesia.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
And right, he was doing it on them. And then once he perfected it, and then he would use the anesthesia and the procedure that he was perfecting on these slave women to do it to white women. And so they call him the father of gynecology, but he's the father of gynecology, but in a sick way.
Yeah. But
You know?
my other argument is, what if women just don't want any more kids? Maybe they have 8 and they're done.
Let me read this right here. What KP was
Let's find out the why.
Why Africa is the focus. According to the foundation, sub-Saharan Africa has some of the highest rates of unmet need for family planning globally, with barriers ranging from cost and distance to health facilities to cultural opposition. Many countries also face high rates of adolescent pregnancies, maternal mortalities, and limited reproductive health infrastructure. By targeting Africa, the initiative seeks to provide longer-lasting, affordable options, which I think Renee, you mentioned that, in regions where demand for family planning remains largely unmet. But this right here, as Melinda French Gates emphasized, contraceptives are one of the most powerful tools we have. It puts the power in the hands of the young girls and women to plan their families and, quite honestly, to plan their futures. Now, my question is right there with that statement right there.
Mm-hmm.
The power in their hands of the young girls and women to plan their families and, quite honestly, to plan their future. Now, are they being, like KP said earlier, they can wrap it up, the guys, wrap it up.
But are they?
That's what I'm saying. Or don't do anything, not have sex, or are they being raped?
It could be all of them.
But also
remember,
a lot of rape happens in that region.
Yeah, but also remember, you can quit taking the contraceptive. It's not a long. I mean, it doesn't, like the IUD, because it's implanted in you. It doesn't mean that it stays in the full 8 years, right? You can get it taken out, and I don't want to get to TMI, but depending on your partner, it actually can slip out.
I heard somebody knock one out before. But hold on. Let's knock it loose. Hold on. Check this out. However, some critics raise concerns that contraceptive programs in Africa may be perceived as externally imposed population control.
Yes,
that's my first thought.
Which is code word for sterilization.
Right? Because again, I may not want any more kids, or my husband may be abusive, or it's just I don't have enough money. I can't care for these kids, but my husband doesn't have access to condoms, right? Because Trump took that away, right? Let's be honest.
Pull out. Well, then you rely on the old, trusted, and tried and true.
No, that doesn't always work.
Look! I was trying to get through this podcast without saying Trump name. I knew it wouldn't happen.
But I'm just because he plays the part. That's what they were. You said was delivering condoms over to Africa, and he put a stop to it.
Yeah, but let me read this one more thing right here. Because the question I asked earlier, is this optional? Okay, but if it's optional, why would they? This notion further suggests that the continent is being used as testing ground for global health innovations, noting that similar large-scale rollouts are less visible in wealthier nations.
See?
Like, when they say roll out, like, okay, we're gonna make y'all get this.
No, I don't think so.
That's my way of thinking.
He's touching on what I said.
Right, but I'm saying we have the option now. I mean, to be honest, I'm gonna throw it out. I have an IUD.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I know there's options, but like KP said, with these people here, man, I don't know.
And I can get it taken out tomorrow, or like I told y'all, a lot of times.
So whenever you get ready, you can pull a goalie and get pregnant. Okay.
But I'm just saying, it's none of it is 100% proof. You hear about women getting pregnant on contraceptives all the time.
Renee, I think you're looking. You know what, Renee? You're debating the I shouldn't say semantics. You're arguing the pros and cons of having access to contraceptives versus not. Me and Leon are saying that aside, there is something more going on in the background, and the more he reads, the more it validates that. Why not other countries? Because basically they're saying because this country is not as regulated, and these bodies don't. There's nobody gonna stand before the UN about these black bodies.
Is it really unregulated, or they just don't have the means and the resources to?
I wouldn't say that, because you'll have Kenyan. You think Kenyan doctors come over here just to get the education and stay here? No, they go back home. When the last time you looked at?
But it just said on there that their needs are not being met in a lot of those Kenyan communities.
That's propaganda. What do you mean their needs not being met? Listen, Renee. What I am saying, and I just want you to hear what I'm saying. When I read articles like that, number one, I consider the source, and I also consider the wording, and they're very strategic in the wording. And unless you're listening with the third ear and watching it with the third eye, you're going to believe exactly what they're saying.
Because it's like he's saying, why would they put all this speculation of growth population in there?
Yes.
That was the argument. That was somebody saying that's the argument.
Because it's been
Renee, you made a good point. Why not China?
I feel like in China, because in China, they have a lot more money than in Kenya. Man,
listen, they just not going to Asia. Listen, one thing about that white man, he's not going to Asia. He's not going there.
They have more
money. Because why Christopher Columbus, listen, he actually went against, oh God, this is the quick history lesson. I shouldn't be saying this, but Christopher Columbus was commissioned by Isabel Ferdinand and the king, right? And what they told him to go to the continent towards more Asia, right? But kind of the word, I'm just walking through this. John Henry Clark does a very good job of walking through this. But basically, he was Christopher Columbus was like, I don't want to go to Asia, because he knew that they were more modern. They already had triple depth ships. Right. And they wasn't going to play that bullshit. They wasn't going to play him coming in there, hey, I discovered what? We've been here thousands of years, right?
Or they probably already have it.
Well, yeah, but so he didn't go to Asia, because had he went to Asia, towards that way, the story would be much different. So he has to come to the New Americas, which he never landed. He was in the less interior. But the point is, he knew and they knew not to go towards China, because that one of the things that John Henry Clark, that civilization was more advanced than ever. They were able to do it in Africa because of the advancement of the society. And so it's same with Cristobal Colombo, whatever his name is. Instead of going to Asia, like you suggested, why don't y'all go to China with that? No, we're going to go where the people are a little bit more hospitable. And that has always been the continent of Africa, doing experiments on those black bodies, because those black bodies have stood the test of time.
I see and I hear where you're going. I don't know. I feel a little bit indifferent. Is there other places that they can go to? Absolutely. China was on my list, because I know that, outside of the, they have a huge population, but also because they're more modern, they have the ability, the ability to create said things. Also, I have to think, why are they not offering this in the United States?
Again, exactly, because the United States, we have a 400 history with those people. So we know the bullshit when we see it. The Africans don't. It's like, because they don't know who their enemies are. And they don't know. So they're open to anybody coming in and anybody doing whatever.
Everybody's over there in Africa.
Everybody's over there. The reason why, like if you took African Americans from here and move them into that continent and move them over here and let them spend some time with the Europeans, if you put us all in Africa at this day, at the mentality, the fights that we've had, what we know our common enemy are, in a generation, which is a 30-year period, Africa will change. It will be the world power, because we know what they're doing. We know how they plan their attacks. And not only that, we've been taught by them of how to deal with them. So they can't come in and negotiate. Hey, listen, I see you got that sugar. We'll give you this amount. No, you not. No, I am going to process my own stuff, and we're going to sell it to you guys and everybody across the country, because we know how to run commerce now, because we've been over here.
Right.
See, they don't.
My
And
next
I'm not
question
putting
is,
it down because we come from there, but I'm just simply
right.
saying
I get
that
what you're
they're
saying.
gullible and they're easy to take advantage of.
Are they gullible and easy, or is it because it's a white man? Because I don't feel like they would be just as gullible and easy if it was a black man offering the same thing.
That's a good point, because you know why? Because different African countries, the citizens from one country can't travel into the other country, but you and I, or a white guy, can get, or European can go over there and travel from country to country to country to country.
Yeah,
with
but
no
also
problems.
they're also taught to watch out for Black Americans.
Yes, by the propaganda media of Western America.
Right. So therefore, my question is, would it be just as accepting if you or Leon came over and offered the same thing?
Jay-Z and Beyonce could not have a foundation and replacing Bill and Melinda Gates doing the same thing, because of the propaganda over there that have taught them to be aware of the African American. They're dangerous, they're this and they're that. And so the propaganda worked. And so that's why we have a sort of kind of like a divide, not a big divide, but there is a divide between African Americans and those from the African continent. But that's because of Western propaganda. Yeah. Even when they get over here and they spend some time, they say it. And then they be like, man, y'all ain't half bad. We be like, you ain't half bad either, Ubuntu.
There's very, very few and far between that's there and half bad, because we all know there's still a certain
no, you're right. You're right. There are still some that still think that they're going to be able to assimilate into the white culture by negating us, the African American. They think that until they get their wake up, they get their wake up call. Everybody gonna get their wake up N-word call. I don't care who you are. You're gonna get it.
The only thing I can hope is that they're, Bill and Melinda, I don't know these people, but their intentions are good, and they're offering something that will help those women over there.
There you go. There you go, you African.
No, they're not good.
You an African American. You're not African, meaning that you're not believing that this white man is coming over there to give you something good, Renee. You are African American. You know better. I just gave you a history.
You did, but also I have something that a white man created inside of me. So I'm hoping.
Hold on.
Let's
moving on. On that note, moving on.
I mean,
so you're with child by an Anglo?
No, I'm saying
it's just breaking news.
She's talking about an IUD.
I know what she's talking about.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, hopefully,
Hey, look. Speaking
Listen,
of population,
number one, he didn't create that. If you do the research, I guarantee you, the technology and the use of the IUD was not developed or created by a single white man. I guarantee if you do the research, there's going to be some black woman or some black doctor at the head of that. I guarantee you.
Oh yeah,
I hope so, and I hope that Melinda and Bill Gates are utilizing that same individual.
You hope the wrong thing. That's like trying to hope the wolf don't eat. The wolf don't eat the sheep. No, he has an appetite. He's gonna eat.
Hey, look. Speaking of population, I heard the other day that India has is the largest population now in the country.
I don't know. I hear that.
I heard that
between India. It's those three. It's those three countries.
They surpass China,
India, and China.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's Africa, the continent of Africa, and then sometimes it's India. I hear that a lot, and then sometimes I hear, like Renee say, it's China, but they do like a population reduction by only allowing, because you're communists, they can control how many children you have. I don't know, but I did hear that. But
kids out.
It's hard to believe. Listen, let me tell you something. It'd be hard to believe that India has a good have the biggest population, because most of them slapsuckers are over here. So,
slapsuckers.
Am I lying or am I lying?
It's a lot of them. It's a lot of them.
They have cities. When the last time you've been to Cary Morrisville?
Oh yeah. They out there. No, they say them. Well, yeah.
Nope. Yep, that is.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. So how can that? So you tell me, how can a continent be growing in population but also leading in migration?
So that type of what we're talking about, that's they're considered Asian. So it's all in.
Yeah.
It's all in the bowl. It's all in the mix bowl.
Yeah, I think you may be right on that. I think they're drawing those numbers. They're probably using that continent and not just India.
Right.
Because you cannot have India that's growing at the rate of Africa with a great migration that they have coming to America.
Not the great. You know what? We got to go to a different.
They're repopulating. Let's go next subject.
Well, we ain't stumping on no toes. They don't have no derogatory name that they're called.
No, but they do have a full. It's what is I find interesting. Speaking of India, and I know we don't want to get into Trump, but we're going to get into Trump and his.
We don't talk about Trump.
Trump is always coming up. We can't escape him.
He no longer wants Indians being CEOs.
Wait a minute. We talk about that later on. Hold on. We'll jump to that later on.
Let the moderator moderate.
Okay. I mean, I thought it was a great flow. Speaking of Indians, but go ahead.
No, we're gonna save Trump for last.
Okay.
Let's talk about these BET awards. Now, KP's. Renee, what you think KP light skin?
I don't even know how to answer this.
Would you consider him light skin? So anyway, in the chat, he said
it's light skin behavior right here. So no, I don't do that.
I don't think I don't know if
he said, look, when we put this in the chat, he said, I'm tired of y'all light skin. Y'all light skin dudes always messing something up. I was like, man, light skin.
Well, I mean, you're lighter than he is.
Thank you.
But I don't
thank you.
He's more caramel.
Thank you.
This man here is what you call light skin right here.
Yeah, you and him, y'all.
No, I'm nowhere
near. Well, we don't know because he doesn't have any hair on his head, so the hair on your head kind of makes you a little bit darker.
Whatever. But anyway, let's go on. Let's move on.
It's funny how Leon Trump remembered me saying that, and that was weeks ago. I said that, and he remembered.
That was this week.
Was it?
Yes, it was. You don't remember nothing.
Listen, my memory, boy. Let me tell you.
So
and I was talking about that guy when I said it.
I know. That's why I pulled him up.
But Renee, you know what they say: if you throw a rock in a pile of dogs, the hit one gonna holler.
Yeah.
So anyway, the BET, they say they canceled the awards, but I was reading and somewhere they said they're not canceling; they are re-imaging, whatever they mean by that. What are y'all thoughts on that? I really wanted Larry. He's not here with us, as y'all can see. Yeah. I really wanted him to talk about this because he's always on this black cultural thing and what we represent.
Well, so is KP. So it's it's one of those.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on, man. All right. What? So I would say this. Let's ask a further question.
Mm-hmm.
Who owns BET?
Right. Right, yeah. Exactly.
I'm just asking questions, guys.
I'm gonna be really honest with you. I think they're a part of like Paramount or some other Viacom. Yeah. Okay.
Who owns Viacom?
I don't know.
Does the board of directors at Viacom look like us?
No.
What about the owner?
No.
Let's see.
Okay, now we getting somewhere.
No. And I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. I haven't watched the BET Awards since
We know you don't. You a bourgeoisie. You a part of the boule. Okay, and we know y'all don't. We know.
I don't think I watched it since.
You called the cable company and told them to take BET off your channel list, so you don't even make a mistake. Because Karen Renee ain't going for that.
No, it's just a little too much for me. I haven't watched it since I think Beyonce was pregnant with her first daughter.
So why don't you watch your people, Renee?
It's not necessarily about me watching my people.
Why don't you support the BET Awards?
First of all, I don't have regular cable, so I don't watch. I don't watch.
I told you she got them people to take that BET off.
Second, I don't have the BET app, and I'm not paying for it.
I knew it.
And like award shows and singing and concerts and all that's just really not my thing. So I don't do it. So
listen here, Karen Renee. So okay, so what is your problem if there is a problem with the BET programming?
I think it does need to evolve. Honestly,
To
there
what?
needs to be a change.
To what?
It always gave low budget.
Okay. Okay. So what are you comparing it to?
I would say the AMAs maybe.
I
And
knew
again,
it.
I haven't watched the AMAs since
I knew it.
I don't know when's the last time I watched it. I mean, I can't compare it to the Met Gala because that's something I would watch for the fashion, but not for anything else. So I honestly I feel like they should tighten up based on what I see on IG when it does come on.
So do you understand why Jackson State football team does not play Clemson or Georgia? Do you know why?
No.
Because it's not for the lack of talent, it's lack of funding. So it looks like Georgia ice is colder, so that's why all the black people run over there and support that. Mm-hmm. But really and truly, if the same amount of money and information is given to Jackson, mm-hmm. they'll be competing with the Georgia, Clemson, and the LSU. I said that to say this. You said that BET looks cheap. In so many words, versus the AMAs. Well, the AMAs got more funding. It's got more. You get what I'm saying? It's gonna look better because it has more resources.
I get what you're saying. I guess let me rephrase what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying pour more money into it. It just it looks unstructured, right? When you look at other award shows, it looks like they have some sort of theme behind it, and they require people to come in. And they, you dress towards the theme, you do all the things. There is just like, it just allows a free for all, and it just looked like a lot of.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Now, Renee, to push back, listen, I 100% agree with you. First, before I say what I'm about to say, part of our stick as Black people is that we're very colorful,
right?
And we are not the status quo. We do not show up at an award with tuxedos and button up because that's what they do at the AMAs.
Yes, but also I see some of the same people at the BET Awards at the Met Gala dressed to the nines.
Exactly, because that's what that place, that's what it requires.
Right.
So with us, there is no requirement because we're going to be as we are.
Yes, but also,
and when you leave us to our own devices, we're gonna do.
I just feel like if you tune it a little bit to that and bring a little bit more structure,
I don't disagree with you.
Then it wouldn't look, to me, it would look more aesthetically pleasing
and not so raunchy.
So look, let me read this, Riz. I'm skipping a couple lines, whatever. It says it's less about them being no longer and more about our team having to reimagine them for this changing media landscape that we find ourselves in. There's something else I was reading. But Mills emphasized that these iconic celebrations of culture are not disappearing completely. The celebrations of culture thing, that far as Larry, when I'm reading this and looking at the BT Awards being canceled, Larry just pops in my head because he loves talking about this. The culture, is it too ratchet?
I don't think the BET pleasing and unstructured, and that's the reason why the ratings have dropped so bad.
Listen, I will agree with you, Renee, and I do. I would agree with you if they were canceling the Source Awards, right? Because that of course it's canceled. But
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh yeah, they been stopped showing that. It says the award shows have lost more than 30% of viewers since 2015. The 2025 BET Awards, despite critical acclaim, experienced a 50% drop in ratings compared to. Wait a minute, how is that? How did they? They didn't show it, so
that's Trump math.
I'm trying to figure out how they get this drop, the 50% drop in ratings compared to the previous year. It's 2025 now, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'm tripping. Am I tripping though?
No, they're using Trump math. Remember, he says he's going to lower the drug prices by 100%.
The Soul Train Awards look more aesthetically pleasing than the BET Awards. I don't
Which
even know
one?
why they
What you
got rid of
said?
that.
Which one did you say, Renee?
The Soul Train Awards.
Okay.
I feel like it was a lot more structured visually, right? Than the BET.
So maybe it's just a matter of the image of the. Maybe it's a matter of the heads that are part of the decision making. Maybe need to change up some stuff rather than changing or canceling the awards. Let's make it more pleasing. Let's make it more aesthetic.
Yes. So Leon, I'm going to throw it out here, and I'm just going to say it.
Go ahead.
Black August in the Park. 2024 versus 2023.
Okay.
What would you say? What would look different that you would hope to see this year?
Well, but you said 2024 versus 2023.
2023. Remember 2023. Remember last year was 2024.
Yeah, 2023 was way better than 2024. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, it was more aesthetically pleasing and organized, right?
And organized, and that's because of
a change
in the one who
the event planning, right?
Event planning, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, get new people to come in and just kind of. You don't have to get rid of it. Just restructure it and make it look more aesthetically pleasing. You don't need 15 people outside on the stage rapping, and then your main person in the room singing, and you trying to figure out what you're trying to do. Like, we don't all the different cameras going at one. Just make it, clean it up a little bit, right? And make it more aesthetically pleasing.
So for you, it's more about the aesthetics and the.
I think it's for everybody that would bring more viewership, because they're going to be like, wow, they put some sort of effort into the BET Awards. When you talk to other people, it's like people just coming in like they rolled out of bed.
I'm willing to bet you. Again, you got to consider the source of the way the writer is writing. When he said the viewership is down on those particular that particular event, I guarantee you the AMAs, the CMAs, so all the stuff, all the things, I guarantee you theirs are down too.
Oh, absolutely.
See, they're painting the picture that, okay, well, we're doing this because the viewership is down. Well, you know what? Viewership is down on all awards because people are online. And they don't have to watch the awards with the commercials when they could just watch it after the fact through social media. You get what I'm saying? So that's why viewership is down.
Yeah, but I still think there's some tweaking they need to do. That's why I gave Leon that whole, because we both, talked about Black August in the Park last year. Remember, we was like, whoa, that was totally different.
So what was the change? Let's talk about Black August let's put 2 minutes on the clock with that. What happened to Black August in the Park? I was here, but I didn't go because I don't know what was happening. But what happened in 23? What was changed, or who was changed in 2024?
Well, Crystal, the one who organized the event, stepped away from it. Yeah, she did in 23. I think she was doing it in years before that.
Crystal's melanated.
Yeah.
All right.
They're all melanated, but
but it's up to about the region. Look at the what we just had, Essence Fest. It was us.
Yeah.
But they were from here.
Yeah, no, right. They were from where? They were from where?
Kenya.
Come on.
The black lady, I'm sure they was coming for the sister. She from Kenya. They were like,
go ahead, Leon.
But yeah,
but what happened is they corrupted her brain. Bill and Melinda Gates.
Go ahead,
man. She stepped away. Crystal stepped away, and it was just 2024 was entirely different.
I'm gonna give you a scenario. I'm gonna tell you one thing.
Hold on. I'm exaggerating. It's like 2 food trucks, maybe a little bit more, but it was nothing compared to what it was before.
That's why I went to the Bimbe Festival this year.
It was 15 food trucks in 2023, and it was 4 in 2024.
Well, who did the Bimbe Festival?
I don't know.
And then I'm gonna take it a step further so you can see the vision. It was a stage and it was lights in 2024 for the DJ. No, 23. In 2023, it was a stage. It was lights. It was, for the DJs to come on. It was a microphone.
Okay.
In 2024, it was a U-Haul truck.
Uh-huh. Yes, it was.
Yo, yeah, I know you lying to me.
They was
Yes, it
DJing
was.
out of a U-Haul truck.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So you get what I mean? Like you make those little tweaks. I mean,
That wasn't a tweet. That
don't
was
get me wrong.
that was somebody cut from production to put in their pocket.
Don't get me wrong. I think my people are very, very crafty, right? That's smart. Like keep the sun out my face, block it. We don't have a stage, but we got this, and we can pack it up at the same time. You know, we can play the music and pack it up. I mean, they even put little flower pots on the front.
Here, Renee, who are your people?
Hmm?
What do you mean your people?
I mean, Black people, my people, we're very crafty. We make lemon.
You're talking to me and Leon as if we're not part of the same.
Let me say, our people are very crafty. They know how to make lemon out of lemonade.
I love you for that.
But,
thank you for incorporating us. Thank you. We feel included.
Again, those things from, all you hear was, man, 2023, Black August was lit, and.
So Black August is coming up.
It is.
Who is the
curator?
Huh?
Don't know.
So this is gonna be like a Cracker Jack box. Y'all don't know what surprise you're gonna get.
And you know what? Not you talking about Black August and Renee. I forgot it was even here. Really, I didn't even think about it.
I mean, they brought it. I mean, it hasn't. They advertised it, but not to the level of 2023.
Yeah,
right? It's on the 24th.
On the 24th.
Yeah.
Do we know why we got Black? Do we know why we got Black August?
I used to, but I can't remember. It was a group of people who Crystal was. I don't know if she was part of the. I think it was like 5 or 6 people that put it together and started it, but I'm not sure.
No, I'm talking about Black August.
The overall history of Black August in the park.
I was just asking, dude.
I don't know. I can't remember if I read anything on it. I read something.
I think it's just celebrating.
Looking it up.
The Black people and their accomplishments throughout life, because you see different, it's.
We can look it up.
Different people.
If you look it up, you're gonna find that it was a group of people that were. I don't know if they were incarcerated. No, George Jackson, which wrote the book Blood in My Eye. Well, look it up. You'll see.
That's weird because they don't. I don't know.
Well, the reason why I'm doing this as an exercise, because I think we, as part of our culture, a lot of times we don't know a lot of things. We just celebrate things, not knowing the history of what we're celebrating. For a long time,
but also they don't bring that.
Huh?
You know what I mean? They don't. For a lot of times, they don't pour that. So what you're saying about Black August is not. When you go there, you won't see what you're talking about. Does that make sense?
Right, and that's the point that I'm making is if I sat on any of these boards for Juneteenth or for Black August or even Bimbe Festival, you're going to see the origins of why we're doing this, and it's going to be boldly because it's going to give us another source of history and another source of pride when we know these things. I was not celebrating Juneteenth, but I remember hearing about Juneteenth and the name and the way I heard it in my ear. I didn't hear Juneteenth. I just heard Juneteenth. And I was thinking that it was like no different than Impale, like Juneteenth. Right. I didn't realize that it was Juneteenth, that it was short for June 19th, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. And I also didn't know the history of Juneteenth. I did not know. Until
did some white guys teach you about Black August in the park too?
Hell no.
So ignorant.
Hey, that's how you say you learn what, KP? What was that?
Well, I learned. I mean, that's a long part. I worked. People that know that from age 19 to 25, I worked on the Causeway. If you guys are familiar with the Causeway, I think it showed up in our chat. It's the longest bridge over water, right?
Yes.
It connects the North Shore to the South Shore, Mandeville to, let's just say New Orleans for the sake of it. And I worked on that bridge. Mm-hmm. And I got that job through affirmative action because they were just sued for not hiring Black people. And so,
I remember that.
So making a long story short, because I didn't know my own history and no one taught it to me, they were teaching me my history, but in reverse. So it had me programmed to not, like, if you brought up Martin Luther King, I was like, man, why y'all like Martin Luther King? He was a whoremonger. He was this. Or if you brought up certain stuff, the way I was being introduced to Black history, it was being taught to me, but in the most diabolical way. And so now when I see the Tim Scotts and the Byron Downs and all these self-hating black people, I know what had happened. They spent too much time in these people's circle.
Gotcha. So I this caused me to look it up, and it is pretty much celebrating Black joy and community, liberation, raising awareness, building cultural resilience through joy and unity.
Who was the founders?
But it was started by I got it pulled up right here. Let me see.
Moses Nicola.
No, let me see. That right guy?
Yeah.
Let me see.
And
held at Durham Central Park.
So, who y'all think that is right there?
I had the name Black August and its importance to Black resistance and survival. So we're started in San Quentin. I did see that.
That's what didn't I say those group of people that y'all wasn't gonna and who is that person that they're parading out there like that?
Where's the name?
See, but you're saying Black August, right? He's asking what is the purpose of Black August in the park, and that's not what.
Well, yeah, you're looking up to it, but it's still the same. But you need to understand. No, I'll stop right there. You see the last name right there, brother.
This is what KP is saying where Black August originated from.
I know that, but he was also asking like what is the reason behind it, and I thought he was talking about what is the reason behind the celebration of Black August in the park, right? Not
well, I know, right, but I wanted y'all to know what the origins of. Where did it come from? Where did it start? And I wanted y'all to look. I didn't want to say it. I saw that a little bit about it, but I didn't want to say it because I wanted you guys to look it up in real time. But I wanted to listen to us when this playback happens that they see that it was some people in San Quentin. And one of the main things that y'all heard me say, I gave a little bit away. I said George Jackson. You see the last name right there, Jackson.
Yeah, go
and
George
he
Jackson.
wrote a series. Yeah, they were incarcerated him for some BS, and he found it. You know, like he was part of the Black Guerrilla family. And part of that, he wrote a book, which was very powerful, Blood in My Eye, George Jackson, him and his brother. So it was started right there in San Quentin.
Yeah. I think
what I'm saying, Renee, is I don't think our people know that. And I'm not a know-it-all. I just read.
But also they may, but that's just not be the reason why is Black August in the park. I don't know.
No, that's exactly listen. It was founded in San Quentin, and a lot of it was pushed by George Jackson, his brother. But what I am saying is it's about resiliences and all that. If you read the story with them San Quentin prisons and also George Jackson, that thing that you just said, what Black August is supposed to do, resiliency and all that, that's what he did. That's what he did.
That would have been great. I don't even think that the founders know.
They might know. They probably know. That's probably why they carry on the tradition. I'm pretty sure. I would hope so. You know, like KP is saying, I would
that would be great. But I don't even see. You know how they have like the different Black people. I don't.
My point.
What I'm saying is I don't see them.
No,
I don't see them.
Do more research on Black August in the Park in Durham. I'm
looking at it right now. It is Black August in the Park is more than an event. It's a tradition of radical Black joy, cultural preservation, and communal empowerment.
But it's the same thing. It's just
it's the same thing. I'm just saying that I don't think that when you look at their Instagram and how they're promoting this,
they're not spotlighting. It's no different than when you were celebrating Juneteenth. When you went to a Juneteenth celebration, you didn't see anything about these black soldiers showing up in Galveston with General Gordon Granger and reading General Order Number 3 right there in Galveston Bay, which is really marks the saying that, hey, hereby, General Order Number 3, you guys are free with these black soldiers, right?
Yeah.
No one knew that. No one knew that.
Right.
No one knew
when
that.
You hear Juneteenth, right? It makes you want to, you look it up and you bring the history.
But you don't see the history in the celebrations, is what I'm saying and you're saying, huh?
Yeah, you definitely don't. But I mean, some people, of course, it's like Black resilience, Black power, right?
Well, okay, but what I'm saying, the reason why our kids and our teenagers and our young adults to old adults today don't know their own history and they're celebrating a history that they don't even know because it's not taught, it's not spoke about, and there is no propaganda of it at the actual event. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah. No,
This is why we don't know. This is why y'all was today's year old learning about Black August was really originated these San Quentin people and promoted by George Jack. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I just wish it would be more the push to bring more awareness, I guess, per se.
We should push to bring more awareness. We should. If I ask 10 Black people or 2 on this thing, who was the father of Black History Month?
So right here it says Black August in the Park.
No. That's just like who was the father of Black History Month? Why do we have Black History Month?
Let me read this right here. Was co-founded by Crystal Taylor. Crystal Taylor was the curator. She's the one that did the 2023. She's the one that stepped away.
She didn't found it Black August. They were support. This thing is nationwide.
I'm talking about in Durham. In Durham.
Like in Durham.
In Durham.
I 100% get it. And I know what y'all saying.
Wait. Would you let me read the thing? Then you go see what I'm tying it to.
All right.
Black August in the Park, Durham was co-founded by Crystal Taylor and Moses, Achol. According to the Black Wall Street Times, they, along with Derek Beasley, Janelle Henry, and others, created the event as a space for Black people to celebrate themselves and engage in social and cultural change. The event, which started in 2015, is inspired by the Black August tradition, which originated in the California prison system. What you were saying. So that's what they took it from.
Right. But, okay, stop right there. The point that I'm making is that, and Renee kind of was making too, is no, unless you go and read that or you talk to someone and they force you to learn, you would have not known this by attending this event. And I think it's a shame that our 6-year-olds, our 14-year-olds, and even our 25-year-olds do not know this, where Black August in the Park originated from, because it will give them a sense of pride and a sense of awareness.
I think they did have some things posted up
I don't know that I think with 10, but
yeah, I think they did have some things posted.
I mean, they have different quotes by all different Black people.
But I guess that's what I'm saying. If you read, I'm pretty sure they probably had something that pointed back to the originator. I'm pretty sure they did.
We have to look at it now, but we wouldn't know it was the originator, because
that's what I'm saying. You wouldn't know because you probably didn't read any of it. So we can't say they didn't have nothing out there if we didn't really pay attention.
It's not pushed. It's not pushed to be taught. When Crystal is on that stage at the end or in the beginning, she should give acknowledgement or admonishment of the San Quentin.
Somebody did in 2023. Somebody did.
Their IG does not have that man on there. Black August.
No, I didn't say they had him on there. I said somebody spoke. I didn't say that.
Listen, I'm saying spoke to the history, but what I'm saying,
yeah.
I think the whole thing I'm saying is I'm holding myself accountable. We shouldn't be. We should celebrate these things, but we should know why, and we should know the origins. And that's all I'm saying. I just asked a question about who is the founder or the father of Black History Month. We all know Black History is in February, right? But don't nobody know who is the father of Black History Month.
Who is the father? Who is it?
It's Carter G. Woodson.
Carter G. Woodson.
Now, when you learn more about Carter G. Woodson and how he learned to read, working in the coal mines, and he used to read the paper to a lot of those because they couldn't read. But he has a long history, and basically, the way it's being celebrated now wasn't the way he envisioned it. Carter G. Woodson was like, we are going to celebrate Black History year round, and then we're going to come in the month of February and talk about the previous 11 months of what we did and what we learned. Not, okay, in this month, pack it in these 28 days, we ain't going to do nothing but learn about Black history. That's not the way Carter G. Woodson found it. His dream was for us to learn about Black history throughout the year, and then come in the month of February where we share all the knowledge and all the tools and the things that we've learned in those past 11 months. But,
Look, I didn't know nothing about anything about Black August in the Park until a few years ago.
Well, they just posted. Well, they didn't just post. So you talk about the guy from what was his name? George Jackson.
George Jackson, yeah.
They did. They brought him back. Well, they brought him up on their IG in 2022.
All right. So see.
Well, they did, but they're not pushing it. I mean, Renee, what are you saying? What do you? Hold on. Maybe
what I'm saying is, I like where you're coming from.
Okay.
I think it just throughout the years of new ownership and new things, I think
we got lost in the.
It turned into more of a festival of Black people coming together and white people infiltrating because they live downtown. But and it's just, that's. It's like
we always just get along.
Let me tell y'all something.
I
would never.
Have you ever seen that Instagram thing where it's when and it's a lot of women who I don't have TikTok, but I see it because it bleeds over to Instagram, where it's like you're shopping in the store and it's a white person staring at you in the background, and it says, when you're a black woman or a black person, you're never really alone. And they show the white person going like this, or in your business trying to see what you're doing on the video.
So we're never alone. I like the parody. I like the joke made of it. But I mean, let me tell you something. I don't know why they come to Black. I don't know why they come to Juneteenth.
I mean, they come to Bembe too. So I mean,
I know I went to Bembe. What I'm saying is, if I hear White September in the park, I'm not going, and I don't care to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going. It's no different than what they had over here at the Enu River. What y'all call it? What's that called?
Eno
had an event where it was tubing and in the mud, and it's Anglo, right? I had no desire to go there, and I live right there. You know what I mean? I had no desire.
Leon Trump said he don't have a problem.
I don't who?
Didn't you say you don't have a problem with them being with them?
I said, can we all just get along?
No, that's the problem. No, fuck no. No.
Because if we got along, then they would understand that there's boundaries.
No. We all can't get along because there's only one that's there to get along. Didn't you get it?
Hey,
that's why we all can't get along, because only one shows up to actually do the thing.
Martin Luther King.
Hey. No, man. All that kumbaya, inviting them in, let's hold hands. No. That's why we are where we are right now.
Well, I mean, at the Bembe Fest, a lot of the African men brought their white women and children.
Listen, I cannot help what happened. I can't help that African guys from the continent of Africa got westernized. We can't help that. It happens.
We should all learn to love each other, man.
Man, listen, that ship is sailed, brother.
I do too. I have a few white best friends.
Ain't no more cheeks to turn, man. Listen, it's over. They done slapped both cheeks. They're both red, and it's over. There is no cheek to slap.
All white people are not bad, man.
Ain't nobody say that. I wasn't talking about them bad like that, but it's like my brother said, if you want me to remember what he was saying when he was being interviewed, and he was like, he believed there are some good white people, as I do. I have
a lot of good white people, man.
Right. However,
good white people.
Like he said that, let's just say there's 10,000 rattlesnakes, and in those 10,000 rattlesnakes, 10 of them are good. They're non-poisonous. They're not going to bite you. They're there to help you. So you want me to entrust them 10,000 in the hopes that the 10 is going to stand up and say, hey, don't do that. It's not going to happen. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Moving on. Hey, before the smoke start coming from his head.
No, I'm just trying to make you guys like.
Nah, you ain't got to make us do nothing. Just
no.
I see where you're coming. I see you, Kate.
You see where I'm going?
We feel.
Listen, we love our white friends, the ones that are vetted. Okay, they're vetted. We know where they were stood. We knew that they would have been abolitionists. I know the white friends I have would have been abolitionists.
Mm-hmm.
I know that because they've been vetted.
Mm-hmm.
And what they say is real. So there are some very good ones that, man, hell, I'll fight a couple of y'all over, right?
There's enough hate in this world, man. Let's spread the love.
Well, we're not spreading it. We,
All right, let's go. Move on. Move on.
No, I'm just saying we not spreading it.
I know
We
we're
don't
not spreading it. We're gonna talk about Renee's expertise. I think. Are you expert?
All right, this is
think?
part of the podcast where we're entering. Karen Renee,
Yeah. Karen
is
Renee.
going to be happy to tell us about property she's taken.
This is actually kind of sad when you hear this woman. How it's listen.
Always sad.
Oh, me.
Avoid this in the future because property theft and fraud is happening more than you know.
I know, but they have a job to do, right? They aren't here for no reason. We're not trying to create a bigger problem. I have dealt with you multiple times. I know what's going on. However, if they are here to do this job, that means the courts has decided
Miss, I want
to
you to
take the property.
What did I have to say to you?
Okay,
When you
so
were here
what is it?
before, I said that my house was refinanced fraudulently. I have been in my home for 26 years. I own the deed. I tried to buy some commercial property, and a man forged my name. Okay, they illegally put me out my house. That's what they did. Nobody's providing documentation. How do the criminal get to do the crime in front of the police, in front of the sheriff? Who is that? My house wasn't even packed up. Do you think if I really did it, if I was guilty, I would let my mother just died? All her stuff is in there. I will move my stuff out. No, this ain't right. I'm not blaming them. Why can't nobody listen?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Hold on a second. Say you said what?
You ready for my number?
Joe. I mean, when I packed up something, if I knew that.
So this woman's home was paid for free and clear, yet because of a forged sale, she's about to be thrown out into the streets. This is title fraud, and it's happening more than you think. So check your property records, sign up for property fraud alerts, lock your credit, protect your title like your life depends on it, because for many, it does. And if this ever happens to you, act immediately. Call a real estate attorney, file an emergency motion to stop the eviction, and alert the sheriff's office. And yes, there's something called a title lock. It won't stop somebody from filing a fake deed, but it will alert you the moment anything changes on your property title. That early warning could be the difference between catching a scam in time or losing your home before you even know it happened. No one should lose their home to a criminal's pen. Share this video so we can protect each other, because knowledge can save somebody's home.
Well, they got some diabolical.
This is a very real thing, right? And it is sad. It actually happened here in North Carolina. So there are really no guidelines surrounding protecting your deed and your title, right? I know they say in certain states they have a fraud alert that you can put on it. I've done research in North Carolina, and they really don't have it here for you. I don't know if you guys remember, maybe it was last year or during COVID, because this happens a lot where people will look and see homes that are for sale and everything. What they'll do is they will file what's called a quiet title claim on your home. And they will take it to the register of deeds, and they will get the title to your property because there's no checks and balances in place here in North Carolina.
Wait, what's that called again?
A quiet title claim, where they'll transfer the title and they'll transfer the deed and the title to themselves.
Right.
Because there's no real checks and balances here in North Carolina for that, right? You don't have to show a particular ID. As long as the information looks great and you fill out everything that's necessary, you can move forward with that. And it's a lot of scamming people. It was a young black girl. And it's crazy because this happened so many times here, but the only time it brought awareness is when this happened maybe a year or so ago. A young black girl and her boyfriend filed a title claim. They received the title and the deed to this dentist. He's a doctor or a dentist in Raleigh, a nice house. He had it up for sale, but he was still staying there. She goes to the gate where the security guard is and was like, he's like, who are you here for? She said, I live here. I own a house here and everything. He goes, I know the doctor who lives here. You don't live here. She shows him the title. He calls the doctor and says, hey, somebody at the gate is claiming they own your house. The doctor's like, no way. And you can look this up. No way. He did some digging, found her information in her name, found out that she filed the title and she is on the home. And he called her. She tried to play it off. I'm sorry, I didn't know. He ends up putting her in jail.
What was the thought? If she was smart enough to learn to do, I thought that was called a quitclaim deed.
You could do a quitclaim deed.
Okay.
You can do all of those. I mean,
if she was smart enough to do a quitclaim deed on probably $1 million property,
and
she wasn't smart enough to do the next step.
What's the next step?
So you
more criminal shit, not bold, more criminal stuff, not like being bold and to go like
file a quitclaim deed, but you also have to file, you file what's called a quiet title claim.
A quiet title, okay.
Yes,
which is all in the name.
Yes, all in the name. So the security guard like, yo, she's showing paperwork. He like, what? What's her name? So he finds out who she is because he got enough resources to find her. I apologize. I'll straighten it back up. I don't know what happened. So, she tries to straighten it back up. He calling the news camera. He's going to the title office. They did a whole story. Why? Because he has the resources.
It goes back to what I was trying to tell you about why Jackson State can't play Georgia.
Right.
Lack of resources. The same shit happened. Different results because of resources.
So you saying the black lady we just showed, if she had more resources, it wouldn't have been.
If she had the right resources, number one, she wouldn't allow the camera to feel her anguish. That's first. Most people that are well established does not let the world see their anguish.
Their attorney would have been speaking on her behalf.
Exactly.
So look, they go to the Register of Deeds office here in North Carolina, and they're like, we don't have any checks and balances in place. So now a new law is happening because this happened to him because he brought awareness. The girl, she gets out of jail. She goes back to the deeds office, try to get the house again. They got her on video.
Oh my God, it's just like the America's dumbest, smartest criminals.
So if say you don't have the resources, right? Why is it so hard? Why you have to go through all these hoops and pay money?
Because it's been recorded.
Huh?
It's been recorded.
It's being recorded as a document that is in the state archives, but more in your local city jurisdiction when it comes to the property and how the taxes are assessed.
And it makes it binding.
It's tied to a lot of stuff. So you got to pay for that.
Right.
You got to pay.
You got to pay for titles to get pulled. You got to pay to do a site title cert. You got to pay for this stuff because it's tied to a whole bunch of stuff.
It is. But so he, I guess, is able to get it. And so now they're changing the laws around in North Carolina around, people filing quitclaim deeds and, those quiet titles. They do it a lot in Vegas. They do it a lot in California, and they'll move it on to their LLC or try to move it over to a friend or a neighbor. And,
the boldness of this chick though, man, the boldness.
Mm-hmm. It happened to another black man. It happens to a lot of people, especially when you get homes like you take over your aunt's home or your grandmother's home when they pass away, right? But you don't file the necessary paperwork to get on it. That's where you lose. Like this woman, if that was her mother's house, she was deemed the executor of the estate.
Yeah,
she could have put it in her name. She could have transferred the property into her name. A quitclaim deed is done while your mother is still alive. You do all of that prior to that happening, right?
But that wouldn't matter though.
Put it in a trust. You put the home in a trust if it's paid off.
But that is, I don't know about the trust, but even though she would have got there in her name, if it could happen to anybody, that still wouldn't matter.
It could have happened, but it would have been harder for them because she probably would have known about it. They probably did that under her dead mom's name. Because they found out her mama was dead and she owned the house.
Now, how many people putting locks doing all this stuff?
People do it. They go. They look.
It comes with your credit monitoring.
I'm saying like you said, people are not putting all these securities on their house to thinking somebody won't do this. I mean,
it
who
was,
thinks
but
about
they
that?
mostly look at people that are the homes are for sale, so you got to be watch out. They
Okay.
go and look who see who
Right,
died,
right.
right? And
Mhm.
because a lot of times when you die, if the paperwork and things aren't done during
Right.
that process, then I mean it's up for the taking, right? Especially
Right.
if you don't go through probate and get everything put into your name, or you don't refinance it into your name, or or assume it, right? You assume the property from your mother or whomever. There's things you can't just live there and be like, it's my mama house. It doesn't work that way, right? So you have to get the property into your name. And it's people out here that your neighbor could be doing it. You wouldn't even know. They could be smiling in your face and plotting on you. I know plenty of people. If y'all only knew how many people call my company and be like, my neighbor told me they can't afford their home. Is it currently in foreclosure? And we'll say, well, we can't tell you that right now. Or they'll see that the home is for sale and they'll call and say, hey, I see they have it for $355. Well, are you willing to take it for $325? They don't even know their neighbor is plotting on them. They're plotting. They like, if we're looking for somebody, because you do door knocks and different things. If you haven't paid your mortgage, different investors require that. Your neighbor is the one telling on you because they want your house, and people don't understand that. Your neighbor is the one telling all your business. HOA, your neighbor's plotting on you. Well, I heard they haven't paid in a long time. Has so-and-so paid yet? Why? Because they want to pay it thinking that it's going to take over your house. No, you just paid the HOA. You still owe the bank, right? But that's something they hold over you. They're like, oh, you living in my house. I bought your house at a tax sale. But honestly, your neighbor is your biggest enemy. And you going to their house to their cookout.
Not my neighbors.
Please. You fall delinquent and you ask them for help, they're gonna figure out who your owner is or who the bank is that own it. I tell no lies. Your neighbor is your biggest enemy, especially your neighbor with money.
When you have a capitalistic society, they think that way.
We are the capitalists, man. Stop that.
Who?
So watch out, people. Watch out. Don't tell your neighbor all your business. You can't, just because your neighbor is cool, don't let them know your hardships. They'll try to get your car.
Well, okay. Well, so the rule of thumb, don't tell nobody your business. But rule number one, don't fall into hardship.
Don't fall into hardship. And if you have a mother that is sick, but she's,
do not let that thing go to do the probate.
Yes, fill out the paperwork, get a trust, get, wills. No, don't do a will, do a trust. A will, does not,
I know somebody who did a will, and then I don't know if they're dealing with the same lawyer.
It could be
and then they said, all right, now we need to do your trust. It was like, well, why don't we just do the trust from the beginning?
Don't do the will, do the trust.
Yeah.
The trust is like set in stone. Can't, your daddy's son from back in the day that just popped up in your life because he did, can't be like, oh, I have ownership to this house. When you have a will and you have heirs that that you didn't know about, and they came, now they can dispute the will. And dispute the trust, get the trust. But while your parents are, alive and they're well and, they're able to think and understand what they're doing, that's when you do the financial planning. But don't just think, because Big Mama did that and she owned the house outright, you could just stay there. No, It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Evidently it don't.
No, and most banks won't even talk to you on the phone without any type of authorization or anything. So there's that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel bad for the lady, and it happens. We just have to be more careful when owning property, because that's a horrible feeling. Unfortunately, it does happen every day. But I'll end it with your neighbor's your biggest enemy.
Somebody say, touch your neighbor. Say, neighbor.
Don't look at my house. Neighbor, don't look at my house.
Birdman hands.
Touch your neighbor.
So y'all want to go on y'all little Trump rants? I can't remember what y'all was talking about earlier.
No, we want to talk about KP and his event that he went to.
What event?
The mayoral campaign, or
that's what. Yeah.
Oh man.
What?
So how do you say that? Mayoral candidate
Mayoral.
forum.
You don't,
Right.
you know, you can't ask me how to say it. I'll be tearing words
Man, I
up.
know that G. But listen, Leon, I gotta give you flowers. You've been reading you've been reading on the 11th grade level.
Damn.
Yeah.
Put me up
That's
one
good.
grade.
That's
Yeah.
advanced. That's because they say America is mostly 8th grade. So there you go.
Yeah. Seriously. Or the Washington Times. Most papers are written at the 6th grade level.
Yes.
Facts. So that because they know that Americans are dumb.
I'm about to graduate.
Love that.
Well, I moved you up. I see it's not a 10th grade level no more. You reading pretty good there, man. You remember on the Breakfast Club, they used to give Jess when she first got on there, they was letting her read the stuff.
I don't remember that.
When she was, they said she stuttered and all that.
Yeah, Jess Hilarious was stumbling over the words and reading the thing. She's gotten better. Now it's a whole joke.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, I'm always I know I stutter sometimes, I talk fast sometimes, I mumble. Hey, it is what it is.
You just
I'm
country. That's all. You're just
Pure
very
country.
What I would say is that I failed the group by not letting you guys know that there was a mayor's
just say mayor for
the candidates for the mayor of Durham. It was a forum. Now, I think when we talked about this last week, I think we said it was up to, I think it was like 5 candidates, right?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, at this forum, there was 4 candidates, and I had an opportunity to sit in community and hear questions and see them answer questions and questions being fielded by either online or people within the audience.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And ironically, in our podcast, in our previous recording, we were talking about the Haiti and what happened down there. Am I saying that correctly?
Haiti.
Haiti, and I brought up the origins of why there's a problem, and it's that church, St. Mark's, that sits right back up against it with the sinkhole opening up. Ironically, it was at that church.
Mm.
So I got to see the historical church, and then when I got to the Haiti area, I was like, man, I'm always in the Haiti. I just didn't know it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The right there on University. So it's I didn't realize it. And so getting there, man, it was so it was all 4 candidates. It was Anjane, it was Leo, some other guy's last name is Freedom, and Freeman. Freeman. And then I think the other candidate, last name Brown. Y'all may know him. I think he's like an 81-year-old candidate, right? And he I think he's been involved in a lot of social events within Durham. And he's an 81-year-old man. He deserves his respect for the things that he's seen. But I thought overall, I'll just give my assessment. I thought what I put in the chat about Anjane, she's a Black queen. I support her. I'm not gonna have no Anjane slander here, right? But what I will speak is truth.
Mm-hmm.
What I told y'all in the chat before I even met her, I said it looks like she has just started media training. She doesn't stumble when she talks. She looks up and to the right. She's always, she's thinking very careful about what she says, so it comes off real slow and a lot of quiet parts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so when I got to see her in live, it was even worse, because there were times where she wasn't very studied on certain questions and topics.
Mm-hmm.
And if she was, it didn't convey that in her explanation. Okay. So I don't want to say that she wasn't very versed in the questions or the topics. I just think the way she presents, it's very monotone,
mm-hmm.
but it's kind of come off as projecting, like you can tell she has a teacher background, but she was probably a teacher that didn't talk much.
Mm.
And so, so watching her answer the questions, you can tell she's new to politics as far as being in the limelight, because she didn't attack nobody. Politicians, they're gonna attack.
Right.
She didn't attack nobody.
Who do you think did well?
Hold on. So it's 6 people: Lloyd Phillips, Angela Reddick, Rafiq Zadi, Anjanae Bell, and Pablo Friedman. And then, of course, Leo Williams.
So it's 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the Pablo Friedman guy was very versed in political banter. He knew the talking points. He knew how to project his voice, and he also knew political war. Mm-hmm. He sat next to Leo. Leo's in the middle. It was Anjanae, Leo, this Friedman guy, Pablo, and then the 81-year-old candidate on the end. When this Pablo guy, when he would talk, he would always, he's very versed. He would never call him by his name per se. He would say the incumbent or the current administration. He knew all the talking points, and he knew the things to say. And he also knew Leo's record. He came prepared with Leo's record. See, the problem when you're an incumbent, you got a record. And that was his theme. Every time he said something, he'd say, okay, we all know that there's a record for this. And he would talk about it while he's pointing at Leo, right? Mm-hmm. And I know Leo is probably getting furious, like, man, if you don't stop, keep my name out your mouth. But he really wasn't saying his name per se. You can tell he's used to speaking. Mm-hmm. And he's very clear in his thing. And he didn't do a lot of obfuscating. Did I say that word correctly, college girl? Okay, college woman.
I was college girl.
I like to say college girl. It sounds better.
Okay.
I know you're a college woman, but college girl sounds better. But Anjanae, she did a lot of obfuscating in her answers. And it was kind of like, so what do you think about, and there were certain questions she was kind of running from. There was one particular question that she wanted. They proposed it for all of them to answer, and she looked straight ahead like, I'm not going to get on that one, right? And I think it was for I forget what it was. It was either they were for or against this vote that happened with something, not the Haiti thing. It was something else. It was very critical. But she was kind of thing. So
her dad taught her how to dance around questions.
No.
It's funny that you say dance around questions because this here says she was a dance educator.
I can't see that.
It says she was a dance educator.
So I didn't know that. And the thing is, I was told that she was a teacher, and I said she probably didn't talk much.
It says she's a dance educator. That's what I'm reading.
Okay, so who do you think did the best when you walked away and you said, "Man,
It's that's a good question. I have no best, but I can tell you, all right, if I had to give, there was no best.
Okay.
Everybody was highlighted what they did. So for instance, Leo was very good at deflecting, he wasn't deflecting, but he stood up and was like, hey, you keep calling my record, but you know what? Until you've been in these shoes and learn how politics in city works, you can't say what you would do. He says, I hear you saying all these grand ideas you have, but I can tell you right now, you don't know what you're talking about, because if you knew what you were talking about, you wouldn't say that. And the fact that you're saying that is because you have no experience. Because if you had experience, like I have experience, and Leo was he was pumping his experience.
So that got under his skin a little bit.
I would say that no, he got under my skin for Leo, because I would have said, look here, mother. I was ready to say that for him.
Mm-hmm. For Leo?
For Leo. I was ready to say it for him. Like, look at you, little but Leo, he kept looking ahead, but he did say, he stood up, and you know how you do that nervous laugh? He's like, it's kind of hard to listen to all this. BS is what he wanted to say. He says, it's kind of hard to listen to all this when I know what the facts are. And let me just run down the facts, right? He would do that. So he was very articulate in stating his case as to why he had been positioned on certain things as mayor that the guy Paolo was bringing up. Paolo was very good about bringing up the mayor's record. And he was very good at saying what his overall vision for Durham was. Anjanae didn't do good or bad in anything. She just was her. It was It was
Right.
he was talking like, and we just just join and we lift each other up.
She needs to listen more to her dad, to some of his older speeches. And
so that's her cadence in which she would speak. And there were a lot of times they were asked her a question, and it was her question, and she was like, so, well, the way that's how she would answer.
Leon, she might be a fantastic dancer.
She wasn't that bad.
I was there. Leon Trump, I was there.
God,
remember, this is my black queen. I support her.
Mm-hmm.
I support her. I'm not bashing her. I'm just speaking.
Well, let me ask you this. After you felt confident in who leaving? Or
Leo still got my vote. Although the 81-year-old candidate, when I tell you he brought so much laughter to the debate, it was some of the funniest stuff that he was saying. And they asked all of them had to answer a question based off the online chatter, what everybody's saying negatively about them.
Mm-hmm.
And they could say, they said, Anjanae, the online chatter that's negative about you is that everybody says that you're running on your father's platform and you're running on your father's name. Remember when I told y'all, no matter what she do, I don't care what program she runs, she will not be able to separate herself from her father's legacy. Mm-hmm. I told y'all that. And guess what? The audience is saying that. So she had to answer why she was not running on her father's name or platform.
Mm-hmm.
So based on what KP is saying, Anjanae, Leo, the older guy, you say he's too old, right?
Listen, I didn't say that. You said I did not say.
No,
you're not going to get me canceled for ageism.
We say that in the hey, you say that in the barbershop. I'm snitching. You say that in the barbershop.
Oh my! Didn't I tell you he was messy? Didn't I tell you he was messy, KP? Well, you gotta quit.
I can say he's too old. You say he's about in his 80s, right?
He's 81. I told you. I don't repeated that, but yeah. All right. Since I got the man too goddamn. Listen, man. Yeah, he's too old. I gotta tell it now because he done brought it up. Okay, it makes good for video.
Okay, so that's him. And wait a minute. So that's another win for Leo. Then, what's the foreign guy? Rafiq Saadi.
He's not foreign. He's Hispanic, I think.
Well,
Pablo Freeman.
Oh, not him. No. Rafiq Saadi. I thought you said. Didn't you say he spoke too?
No, there was a Freeman. Who is Freeman? Was that
Pablo Freeman? I don't know who he is. Pablo Freeman.
That was the Hispanic guy.
Oh, that's Pablo? Okay, yeah, Pablo Freeman. I don't know about the last name, but Pablo, okay.
Yeah, now what's the other two names?
What did they say negative about Pablo?
Angela Reddick.
I'll get to that.
Angela Reddick, Lloyd Phillips, Rafiq Saadi.
So it must be Lloyd Phillips, must be that black, the older gentleman. So Anjanae had to defend why she would run separate of her father. She made a claim. It fell flat on his face as far as I'm concerned. She did. I think what her thing is, Anjanae is very nice. She's probably a good person. She's very nice and she comes across as very nice. Mm-hmm. And what I will say is that's not y'all next mayor. Well, I'm a Durhamite now, so that's not going to be our next mayor because when I'm looking at a black woman that has to reach across the aisle and deal with other folks and different things, she needs to be a pit bull in the skirt. There is no niceties. There is firm eye contact and speak with a projected voice. Whoever her campaign manager is or not, they're not telling her that. Had I been her campaign manager, that's what I would tell her. That would at least get her to the primaries. You kind of see what I'm saying? So she answered based on why she wouldn't separate her, why she is separating herself from her father and her own legacy. Leo, when they got to him, he had to answer. The online chatter is that he is in the pockets of the big donors. And he's in the pockets of the big developers. And his answer was like, well, he went on to say that, well, he's not doing a very good job of getting money from them because, when he opened his restaurant here recently, he said it was his card that a card that was declined, and he had to go get money. Had to draw money out of a 401k from his teacher's retirement in order to, to make the whatever it is so that restaurant can open. He talked about don't punish him for being ambitious. He said, am I ambitious? Yes. Am I ambitious about moving Durham forward? Yes. Am I ambitious about how can we make Durham and bring back Black Wall Street? And it has to be with us having these relationships developed with these builders and these. He said, yes. He said, so don't fault me for
bringing
being
back Black Wall Street. Get out of here. Anyways, what did Pablo say?
Pablo, well, his thing, the knock on him was they said that they feared that he would be for all Hispanic people and he wouldn't care about Black folks. So he had to answer as to, they said that the knock on him is that all he talk about is Hispanic folks and what's going on with the Hispanic community, that they fear that he wouldn't be mayor for the Black community. And he gave a damn good answer as to how he would be, and he talked about, he gave a history of no, because I was here and I stood in line for the people for this particular thing. He gave a damn good answer. I'm not going to lie. He answered very good and articulate because it sounds like he's been doing this or he's been having some good media training. Leo's competition would be that guy. But if I was Leo, there's a few things that I would do that I would eliminate him quickly. And I'm going to say it. What I would do, he is Hispanic. He is trying to draw the Hispanic vote. If I was Leo, part of my strategy would be some slight pettiness, but it would be, we all know that the Hispanic population voted for Trump at a 60% rate. It is apparent that they're not very good at choosing candidates, And I would say that, and I would also implicate that because Durham is Black. It ain't Hispanic. It's becoming Hispanic. But the Hispanic vote is not going to get Pablo over the top. He's going to have to get some of that Black vote. But if I was Leo, I would definitely paint the picture of the Hispanics are the ones that voted for Trump.
Which one? What was the chatter that you heard from people leaving? How did they feel?
I didn't get to talk to no one talked. I didn't talk to anybody. But the old guy, they said the knock on him, the question he had to answer was everybody feels that not that he's too old, they feel that he lacks experience for the job. And the answer that man gave was beautiful. And he gave a very descriptive answer about experience and how you don't need experience in this to be great at that.
Right.
And he made what I don't like, I don't think y'all, there was people filming it. What I don't like is you cannot find footage of that anywhere. Have you been able to find it?
See, I would have been and had my, if you would have told me, I would have had my camera out.
But I feel like when someone says they lack experience for the job, everybody lacks experience going in new, right?
He said something to the contrary, but he also used an analogy that he brought it home with. He was very, listen, he was very fiery in his, when he.
No, I get that, but we all,
No, you're right. You're right.
Everybody on that panel. So even with, Leo responding to the Hispanic guy, it's like, no, he doesn't know because he hasn't been there. You have, right?
Right.
But that doesn't mean that the needle wouldn't move in his direction based on what he wants to do. It's about the people and the surroundings and how you approach it. But everybody is going to be different.
That's the argument you give though when somebody don't have experience. You go always say that.
Right.
Well, you gotta have to. Because the thing about Leo, he has a record that they can call him on.
Right.
He's going to have to polish up his stance and stand on business on whatever they call him on and be very versed in his decision, or be versed in explaining his decision for being XYZ. But I think he did a good job of pointing out that he's ambitious and he shouldn't be punished for being ambitious in terms of.
I don't think he should be punished, but I think it's a problem when you put profit over people.
Well, Lloyd Phillips and Angela Reddick doesn't have a website. They need to get a website for the campaign.
I think they're just in it. Listen, from what I hear, that old guy that's 81 years old, from what I hear, he ran before. He's run a few times. You know.
Third time may be a charm. You never know.
So Renee, who looks like Leo may be getting your vote?
Who said that? Who said that?
According to KP, it doesn't seem like there's another candidate that can win.
Child, I have to do some homework. I got homework to do after this. I'm just such a busy lady.
You're not gonna tell us on the two candidates that we do know between Anjanae and Leo where you stand?
No, I gotta do more research.
You need to do research on your own people.
I need to do research on the other candidates.
I just told you they don't have a snowball chance in hell.
Listen, the Pablo guy,
he can be eliminated. He's okay. So I'll say this: he's a more viable candidate adversary than Anjanae. However, Anjanae is going to get the black vote simply because of her dad and who she is, and she's not going to say the wrong. She's going to run such a safe campaign. She's going to get a lot of black votes just off of that.
Yeah, but black women, we take care. We get things handled. So maybe it's time that Mayor the Durham has a black woman mayor.
You say that, man, but but Mira Bowser is allowing Trump to run rush hour all over her.
Remember,
I know, but if we're in right now, our United States is in in distress because they didn't choose a woman.
I understand.
Remember, she's a dance educator.
Mira Bowser is the mayor of DC, and Trump is running all over her. She's not even pushing back like a black. I don't hit no clap. She's not being strong enough for me.
The mayor of DC.
Yeah, Mira Bowser.
Oh yeah, no.
She's in her third term too.
I mean,
Trump threatened the whole.
Might be a Letitia James, and we just don't know
what
yet.
I'm saying is she has a history of dealing with this buffoon. Trump threatened to withhold $1 billion in federal funding to the DC whatever, right? Unless they got rid of that Black Matters marker in the streets. She did it without even pushing back. And it's one thing to get rid of the black marker the way they got rid of it. It's one thing to paint over it or repave it. They dug that shit up out the ground. It was jackhammers digging it out the ground. Basically, they were sending the signal to Black America. Not only we're going to erase you, we're trying to dig you out of history. And guess what? Trump still withheld that bill and funding from her. She still didn't get it.
That's horrible. That is horrible.
So she's not pushing back. She's allowing him to weaponize the DC police. Because DC doesn't have a statehood, and so they only have very little representation. Trump does fall as the commander-in-chief in front of the National Guard and things like that. But I'm just saying she could be more. She can push back more than what she's not doing.
Yeah.
So segued off of that, just a segue from that. I was just saying that.
Now, how many other men have kissed the ring?
I don't know any.
As like women,
black guys.
The New Mexico, the governor or mayor of New Mexico, she's not backing down.
Claudia Sheinbaum, no, she's not.
I'm just saying.
And she's sister adjacent. We welcome her. She's sister adjacent.
I'm just saying, like, there's more guys kissing the ring there than it is women.
Listen, I don't know what it is that you don't like. I don't like men.
Maybe they
but I agree with you. I mean, you're just like everybody's watching this saying they're in the chat right now talking about why she don't like men. Listen, people in the chat, we don't know. We don't know.
I love men. I do. I really do. But y'all, anywho.
You can't say I love somebody and say but. Anytime but that's in there. Listen, Leo got 11th grade. I got 12th, right? And I know but is the energy. Okay.
Man, look. So next time, KP, you in the loop, let us know. And we're gonna be there for the next mayor forum.
Yeah, say the first word though. What is it?
Mayoral.
We both struggling. We both 11th and 12th grade struggling.
So yeah, man. Look. Yeah, we go.
I'll let
Make
y'all
it
know
happen.
when the next one.
Yeah, let us know when the next one is. I definitely
So
want to be
Renee, are
there.
you gonna go, or you still need to do
I
homework
will
before you
definitely
go?
go. I will definitely go.
And I will be videotaping. Have my camera out.
You know she liable to vote for Paulo.
She might.
I can see that.
Nah,
I gotta look. If somebody fine on there, then it's a.
oh, we voting on looks now.
Oh God. Well, you know what? I'm gonna be the candidate since I'm a fine neighbor.
There you go, my fine ex-neighbor.
I'm gonna run because you know who wins,
should
Mary.
run.
You know who wins? Outsiders all the time.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
Except for the
because
guy.
it's because a poet is never welcome in his own home. That's why.
Because we know their intentions. They probably used to pee on themselves when they was kids. You can't
That's
trust
my
that.
point. That's why I say a poet is never welcome in his own home. That's why even let's just say in the city of New Orleans, Mayor Ray Nagin was not from there, right? The mayor there now, TD Cantrell, she's not from there. So in most places, they're not from there. I'm pretty sure Brandon, who's that for Maryland, the mayor over there? I'm pretty sure he's not from. Well, no, he might be.
He is.
Yeah, because he straight.
I like him.
Yeah, I like him too. Yeah, he from there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Well, make sure y'all go to impelforwardmerch.com. Impelforwardmerch.com. The sale is off, though. The sale is off. Make sure you go to impelforwardmerch.com for all things Impel Forward merch. The winter's coming.
Hoodies are back.
Hoodies are back. All right, y'all. Well, there you have it for another episode of the Impel Forward podcast. And remember, seize the opportunity to grasp your dreams.